Hello there, my lovelies. My name's Torquil Crayons. Yes, I am the brother of Johnny Crayon, since you ask. Now then, despite what you might read about in the gutter press, our relationship's doing just fine, thank you very much. Truth be told though, I had to get away from him back then, especially after all that went on. Besides, Johnny's revered up there in the West Midlands, see? It's hard to live in someone else's shadow for so long, especially when it's your own brother. So all in all, I ain't too disappointed how it all turned out in the end, but anyway. So we're all getting on a bit now, so I thought it's about time I had another colonoscopy. Been 5 years since. So, today, I'd like to share my experiences with you all in the hope that you all perhaps pluck up the courage to have a go yourselves. Never too late, never too late. So, first of all, I received a plain white package through the post. Makes a change from the plain brown packages I'm used to receiving, noting that discretion is the better part of valour. So, inside are 2 sachets, dose 1 and dose 2. The instructions state no solids for the 24 hours prior, dose 1 the night before and dose 2 4 hours before admission time. Label says they're mango flavour, more like the memory of mango if you ask me, or you have to think about mangoes whilst you're drinking the stuff. So I goes to bed a bit later than usual, 10:30 maybe, thinking I hope my body gives me fair warning to permeate my dreams with a disturbance to wake me up. You know, common themes for me: London, the Blitz, World War II, or a tsunami, a wall of water, relentless and indifferent to anything in its path. So, or wasps. Not too fond of them either, see, spexophobia it's called apparently, a fear of wasps. So 3 o'clock rolls round, I'm awakened with a need, and then stuck in a do-well True-Lip until 4 when it abated, only to return 6:30 next morning. Talk about on demand. In daylight, I could see my efforts resembled a primordial soup of sorts. I looked around the bathroom in the hope of finding some star nurseries and gas clouds perhaps, maybe a nebula or two. All I could find in the corner was the web made by Bernadette, our resident spider. She'd left the glitter on her latest web since Halloween. Probably double up for Christmas decorations now we're into December. So, after a busy morning I took dose 2 and that's when the big guns kicked in, I can tell you. One thing I was grateful for though was knowing what happened to the last of my marbles. I thought to myself, I don't remember swallowing them, certainly not all strung together like that. So I decided to walk to the hospital, nice day it was, convinced I'd be eligible for the cleanest colon and bowel award. They'd like to present me with a plaque, cleanest yet. I arrives at the hospital, hands my forms in, and then gets taken into a room by a nurse. I'll call her Marion, not a real name of course. Marion's the name of a great snogger I knew at school years gone by. So, Marion the nurse noted my accent. Sounds a little like Devon or Somerset, she says. I says to her I must have assimilated the accent over the years, but I'm from West Bromwich originally. She said, oh, you know Robert Plant then? I says, I don't know him per se, but I do know him from a bar of soap. So, I points to the sink. I said, see that bar of soap there? I said, that's not Robert Plant. She looks at me funny like, and says with her smirk, oh, go on with you. Better keep my eye on you. Said, you look like mischief. I said, I might be. She checks my heart rate, 57, blood pressure 99/68, pretty low apparently. Of course, a room in the hospital is never short of a faulty starter and a fluorescent light, a flickering and a buzzing. I thought I'd walked onto the set of a David Lynch movie, I better strap myself in. I'm then told all the people who'll be there for the procedure, including the obligatory interns, to see how it's done by an expert. Quite the crowd, I thought. I'll set up a merch counter next time to sell my wares. I've got a nice new hat, you can see here, purple it is. I'm also informed what drugs I'll be given. Fentanyl, the modern equivalent of morphine apparently. I wonder what the postmodern version feels like. Stays in the system the least amount of time, like a ninja, in and out with clinical precision and stealth. Midazolam, similar to diazepam, and takes the longest to leave the system, and depending on the dosage will often leave people disoriented, asking things like, have I had the procedure or am I about to have the procedure? They have no sense of it, see? Just like that old joke, is that someone knocking on the front door or the back door? So, anyway, finally, IOC. This is to stop the bowel spasming. Apparently the colon takes a dim view of being photographed and protests. So, I imagine the paparazzi racing around the intestines on motorcycles and scooters, desperate for the money shot. They can sell to the Daily Mail or the Hello magazine. You know, imagine the pictures. I chose not to mention that. As a child I ate some sausage meat and believed the stories about growing a tapeworm. Even if one isn't detected, I'm still going to call her Maria as an homage to Maria Callas, who deliberately swallowed a tapeworm to control her weight. It's also worthy of note that tapeworms have both male and female reproductive organs. I sometimes wish I had both, then I'd be able to honour people's invitations when they tell me to go f myself, but I digress. So, I'm ushered into a becurtained space with a hospital bed and an ornate set of I told you so drawers made of MDF. I'm told I'm second in the queue, so I waits around. I'm entertained by another nurse putting a line in my arm through which to administer the drugs. I asked him to distract me. I'm no fan of that scratchy feeling, to be honest. Thankfully he was a dab hand at both. Told me about his garden. Growing legumes he is. The drugs started to kick in. I thought, wheels up, Captain, here we go. The person in the next becurtained space was having an hard time of it post-procedure. But once fed and watered, he perks up. I hears the nurse say to him, "You're a different man now." I didn't quite know what to make of that. Perhaps there's a choice once you're in the procedure room. Now tell me, sir, what kind of man would you like to be post-procedure? Next thing you know, I'm being wheeled into the procedure room, all the while pondering what kind of man I want to be. An interlude of existential pondering on wheels might become quite a thing, like planking or parkour. Out of the ensemble cast appears the doctor, Ronald the Eye Tavistock Smythe. Not his real name, of course. A cheery fella, remembered me from last time, been 5 years since, I said. "You all prepared?" he asked. I replied, "We're from a family of gnomes, so thought I'd help loosen things up with a fishing rod and some bog lube." He looks at me odd-like, probably hasn't heard of bog lube, or maybe he has no need for it, good-looking fella like him. So the fantastic journey began. Watched the whole thing I did, inquiring if along the way we might encounter roadworks with temporary traffic lights, one bloke doing all the work, the rest of them all leaning on shovels. He shows me a 20 on a black rule on the monitor. He said, "Look, there's a speed limit around the roadworks, 20 kilometres an hour. Apparently it's actually how far the camera's in." He said, "Look, there's the 30 limit. I didn't need to look, mind, I can tell you." Toward the end he commented that I'm doing a terrible job of growing polyps. Couldn't I find a hide in the hair of them? Beyond a paltry specimen sized at 3mm, I'm fond of a dry sense of humour, especially from a big polyp hunter like Tavistock Smythe. Before I know it, it's all over and I'm in recovery with a nice cup of tea, an ham sandwich and a bowl of soup. No, not a bowl of soup, I do know the difference, thankfully. Tastes different for a start. No cake, mind, and no plaque either. But all in all, it all turned out to be a good result. So I hope this sharing has alleviated any anxiety anybody might be having around having a colonoscopy. So till next time, this is Torquil Crayons signing off. Oh, by the way, if you see Johnny Crayons on your travels, make sure to tell him I'll always love the twins just like they were my own. Ta-ra a bit.